everybody, this is Jen from Scrap and Podge, and I am here today with my artistic studio creation design team project. And this is my ugly mat for my ugly messy projects. So I have my Recollections cubes that I painted on the outside. I painted them black to match my room, and I want to decoupage the front. So I did not, when I assembled them, I did not put the drawer fronts on, and, or not the drawer fronts, but the, the little pools. These guys here, I have these. I didn't even bother taking them out of the package because I knew I was going to do this. But if you were going to refresh something that you have in your room, you can always just take those off. So I have a large assortment of things waiting to go into this cube, so it is imperative that I get this done quickly. It did take a while to get the drawers painted. I painted it a matte black using the the Rust-Oleum ×2 primer and paint, and then doing a top coat with the low odor Krylon matte finish to give it a nice matte look. Now I'm going to do the same. You can see what it was before. And I did not bother to, especially the inside, I wasn't too horribly worried about. I have a couple places where I didn't get complete coverage on the inside, but after, I was trying to be careful because I'm not very good at painting or spray painting. So yeah, the first thing I did was sand it, and I just hit it with a sander. You can see that I did maybe a little bit too much here, and on the outside of the boxes where I did too much, it kind of looks funny, but that's okay. So this is, I have 3 of these. This is the 3-door one, and this is the one that has the marker storage at the top, and then the metal blank, and then this. And so this is the only thing I'm decoupaging on this, and then I got 3 of these triple drawers to decorate, and then I think I'm going to paint these black to make it look like separate drawers, right? The rice paper that I've chosen is the Stamperia Music, because I can put it here and then add a strip on either side or whatever, but it'll all be the same. And then this one has similar colors, and I may mix and match, but I think I'm going to do each drawer individually instead of like across. So yes, lots to do. I'll be spraying, I'm going to use a luster or gloss Mod Podge, but it's just because of what I have. A matte Mod Podge would be fine. I'm using the matte finish afterwards, so it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. And a brush. And yeah, let's get started. So I think the first thing I want to do is cut my sheets down to size, and I'm going to use this music note on this kind of predetermined that. Okay. My paper could have cut some of it. A lot of it, actually. Okay, and then we'll just use it there. Okay, so I cut a little bit over. And I think, let's just let that let's go ahead and Mod Podge that, and I can cut it later. Let me cut it down just a little bit. Let's do... I don't mind cutting it afterwards. And it gives me a little bit to play with. There we go. And let's cut off here. Okay, that's that. I'm gonna try something new. Let's see if a sharp X-Acto knife will cut through it better than my paper trimmer. These I want to be just a little more precise, especially the middle one. So I'm going to cut these at 4.5 by 4.5. I may have to trim a little. Okay, so after everything is sanded and the outside is painted, and I masked this when I painted, we're going to Mod Podge. I just, like I said, approximately cut out the papers for the drawers. Make sure that it's facing the way I want. And going to cover my mat with some newspaper and some plastic. I don't think it's going to get as messy as the last one because I'm only doing one side, but you never know. Okay. Dangerously dipping directly in the Mod Podge. And if you're worried about, when I sanded, I hit the corners a little too hard. If you're worried about that, just paint white before you put the Mod Podge on. Not worried about it because I'm going to distress the corners with some Distress Oxide anyways. Okay, now which way is up? I have no idea. I think this is the other piece of it, right? Okay. Maybe this isn't the other piece of it. I know this way's up. I think it's this way. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Okay, and just make sure all your corners are down. Make sure you get your Mod Podge from side to side. And we're going to Mod Podge over top. And then for me, I don't like the lines of the Mod Podge. So after I get a nice coat on, that is going to be sufficient for keeping it on there. I just give a dab. With almost a dry brush. I don't want big puddles of it, but I don't want brush strokes either. I would rather have a little bit of a stippled look than the brush strokes. Reminds me of popcorn ceilings. Okay. And then I think we're going to have to wait for it to dry to find the holes for the yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to poke through after it's dry to find the holes for the fixtures. Put this aside to dry. I'm doing that. I'll move that up a little bit. This is a little more fussy than the other one because the other one did have a texture to it. So I didn't want wrinkles, or I didn't mind wrinkles or anything in it. This one, I do not want wrinkles. Still got a little bit there. Okay. We can always go back in and tweak what we need to. And I'm not sure, I may collage a little bit more over this before I finish it. Okay, now I have 9 of these, so I want to make sure that I get the collage the way I want it. Okay, so we'll make this is the bottom drawer. And this one I'm going to paint the insides here black, but I'm going to wait until I finish the Mod Podge. And I'm just going through and poking the holes back in for the fixtures so that I don't lose them. Hopefully I don't lose them anyways. Okay, I'll line this up. And I noticed when I was doing this, I didn't always get in the corner or exactly straight, so alright, so hopefully I'll be able to get some of that extra paper out of there once it's dry. And just giving it some texture here, other than the brush strokes, because I don't like those. Alright, there's one drawer down. And I had these already in the drawers because I was worried about them not fitting correctly. Okay. Okay, so we're all dry and they look good. I did go around the outside a little bit with some paint, some black paint, just on the edges, just to kind of give it a finished look. Now, I don't think I'll add any. Now these I wanted to give a little more attention to. I wanted to paint between the drawers, which is turning out to be a little more involved than I wanted it to be. So let's get a scrap piece of paper. Just put a little bit of paint on there. And I started doing this one already, so, but as I said, maybe I need a smaller brush because there's oh, I have an idea. Okay, so since we've Mod Podged this is going to be waterproof, so I'm just going to fill in this hole by dabbing. And then I'm going to distress it too. So if the color takes just, you know, if it's a little dark, then that's okay. Okay, and that's probably about as good as we're going to go. Okay, we're going to do the same with this one. Yeah, I think that's going to work better. Like I said, it's going to leave like a black smudge, but since I'm distressing it, it's okay. So my suggestion would be, if you're going to use a light paper or rice paper, to tape this off and distress it, or add that black before you. Okay. On the sides. And the bottom. The Recollections drawers fit pretty snug. I don't think that this little bit hanging over would make a difference as far as the fit goes, but you don't want it hanging over. Okay, so there's the outside. Now we have to contend with the between the things, and we're going to paint it, so it's not a huge deal. But you do want it to, you know, be like a gouge. You don't want it to, your rice paper to have built up and be flush. So you just cut on both sides and cross your fingers, hope it peels up all at the same time. I think I cut through that. And if you like gouge into the laminate a little bit, it's okay because you're going to paint it. And then I just went around the outside to give it that finished look, especially if I gouge the white. And I suppose you probably want to do this with whatever color you painted your cubes, because you can paint these any color you want. You can do like a vibrant red, or shabby chic pink. Whatever you want it to look like. I've got to say that distressing is a little easier because it doesn't have to be exact. And just kind of look. I think this is one. Yeah. So it's just a tad bit darker than the rest of it. And then once you find one, you start seeing them. It's just a tiny bit darker. And then you know that they're about in the same place. So you poke, there it is. I don't know if you can see that, especially on the dark ones. But once you find one, you're good. The other thing you could do is beforehand, you can cut a square perfectly that lines up with this and put the holes in it. So that, there it is. Nope, that's not it. There it is. So that when it's all done, you can put that template right on top and then poke the holes, which probably is a better idea, but where's the fun in that? There's one and two. So it didn't take me too long to find that. Alright, now that the holes are in it, let's go ahead and finish painting so we can put the paint away, because I'm done with it. Again, for what I'm doing, I'm just going to fill the paint in. If you were doing like a shabby chic and it was a light pink color, then I don't even know that you could tell that you've done it because it's so light. But I think it makes a big difference here. I want it to look like individual drawers the way they intended it to. Last one, and I'm just going to go around and double check to make sure there's no Nothing I missed, nothing that needs to be touched up. Again, I'm going to distress, so I'm not worried about some of this white showing here. And yeah, I think I gotta poke holes in these two still, which I'll do right now. And next week, after it's all dry, we're going to distress it with my refreshed, hopefully, ink and sprayer down, and then I can put the hardware on and I'll be done. I can put all this stuff that's sitting on my desk away. We'll be back. Okay, so luckily acrylic paint dries quickly, and we're ready to distress these and spray them so they can dry while I go about my day. I'm going to put up all my sharp stuff. And let's narrow this down a little bit here. So, the minis. So, I'll show you. I put my, I think I have all of them, but I put my minis in order by color. My blues, my reds, and go into purples, my oranges, and there's some purples, greens, and my browns. These are all inks. Oh, do they have mini oxides? I don't know. And they fit in my mini cube. So let's do vintage photo. Where are we? Where are you, vintage photo? There you are. So let's see. He's the difference between the new vintage photo and the see the difference. I'm just out of pigment in this one because I've used it so much. I'm gonna say probably like 6 years. So I am not disappointed with that. So vintage photo on the corners. And you can even add some blue and some pink because there's definitely that in there. But I think I'm going to go with a ground espresso to do kind of darker around the outsides to definitely bring home that these are individual units. And it's going to slide. It's going to slide and blend super easy because of the Mod Podge. Maybe the matte Mod Podge is a bit different. That one's done. Let's start with the walnut stain. I'm going to go in just a little further. And if you were doing shabby chic, some lace trim, you can Mod Podge that right into the lace trim. There we go. You could do buttons or brads if you wanted to. Bling, all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, now these I'm just going to run the distress ink up the middle. One, because I have the the black paint where I kind of smeared it into so that they look like individual drawers. And you can tell the difference between not distressed, and distressed. Add some more color here. Okay. I'm just going with the lighter color and then the darker color. There we go. And I love that brightness in the middle there. One more and then we can spray. Okay, so I wanted to get it wrapped up so I can put my stuff away. I put the door handles on almost all of them, so I wanted to show you how they look, and then I'll take some pictures at the end. Sorry, the dogs are in here panting. To show you how they look all put together, but the units are just too big to show you. There's that one in the camera. So these the drawer pulls are easy to put on. I have this Cobalt from Lowe's screwdriver. I keep this in my craft room and it has all these different, it came with these, so I recommend getting something like that for your craft room. I keep a tiny hammer, this screwdriver with multiple bits. I have an awl, a pair of pliers, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a pair of wire cutters that are in my scrapbook room all the time. They're just mine, and they come in handy. And when I get done, I'll cut some coffee dyed paper or something for the labels. May have to go a little heavier, like a coffee dyed cardstock or something on the bigger ones, because they don't disappear behind. I'll show you. Like, you can see where they're cut, so maybe a heavier cardstock or something and make sure that they're even. On these, I just kind of look at them and hand cut them. So you see, these are fairly easy to put on. And maybe you couldn't find all your holes, so you can just find one hole per and they line up. Alright, and there we go. Now they're all ready. And these have room to slide the paper behind. And these definitely have room too, but like I said, you can't just eyeball this one. You have to like cut it straight and everything. So, all right, insert pictures here, or at the end anyways. And you guys have a great day. Go head on over to Artistic Studio Creations on Etsy to find your rice paper and your Mod Podge. ASCSupply on Etsy. I'll link everything below. Use Scrapping Posh 10 for a coupon code to get 10% off. I thank you very much, and stick around to see what I have next time. Bye-bye.